Hey, this is Brian with Ruin Your Knees, and this is my official review for the Xero Shoes X1 barefoot basketball shoe. I've had this for about a month. Thanks to Xero Shoes, they gave me a free trial. I've been using it indoor, I've been using it outdoor. I already posted kind of an in-depth look at the shoe, but I wanted to let you guys know what my thoughts are after actually using it for 3 to 4 weeks, and then I'll show it next to the 360 and the Prio from Xero Shoes if you're curious. So number one, this is a very low basketball shoe. It's about 12.5 millimeter stack height. That's about half of your normal basketball shoes average height. It's going to be a wide toe box, very low to the ground. The heel to the toe is flat. Most shoes have an actual like drop from the heel to the toe. So the biggest thing is you got a lot of room in here for your foot to kind of spread out naturally. You've got pretty good flexibility in the shoe. It's stiff. It needs to be a bit stiff. It's basketball, but it's definitely got some flex to it. But this wide toe box, the flatness, that's the big sell, because the idea is it's going to let your ankle, your foot have a little more range of motion. And the theory is that you're actually going to strengthen around your feet and your arches and your lower legs versus doing overbuilt shoes that maybe actually weaken them versus help them out. So the idea is to use these like a training tool, and you can even potentially play in games in them. I've been using them in games. So what's my impression? Number one, people want to know about the traction. It's been really good in the gym. I mean, this is a pretty standard looking basketball, sort of tread on the bottom, and you can come in and kind of show that. It's holding up well so far. I haven't used it outside a ton. I have used it outside. Me personally, I would probably keep these mostly for indoor play, but on this type of a cement surface that I've been using, they've been really good stopping power. I don't know how well the rubber would hang up or hold up. So far it's been fine, right? In the gym it's fine. It sticks really well. The only time it doesn't stick is when you got a really super dirty gym floor, but most shoes struggle under those circumstances. But I'd say this is on par with basketball shoes for the grip. What I really like about it is going to be the stability of the wideness of the foot. Like, I feel really stable making moves on the court, in the post, but it feels more lean than some basketball shoes. Like, I don't feel like I'm slowed down. Lots of basketball shoes feel clunky. This one feels agile to me. And since I'm lower to the ground, I don't feel like I'm going to tip and possibly hurt myself. Some basketball shoes, they're so built up, I'm worried about getting injured going side to side. So I have to say, I think these are a really great shoe for being grounded, being responsive. At first I thought they were too conservative, that they weren't minimalistic enough, because I've been playing in very minimalistic shoes. But actually, after using them for a few weeks, and then actually after throwing another shoe on, so like, I thought this was my favorite shoe. This is the Prio. I've played in the gym with this shoe on, and I really like it, and I still play in it. I like this shoe a lot for just sort of general purpose gym. But for basketball, with this Huarache strap and this sort of built up leather, they're kind of funny, but they've been good for basketball. But when I was doing some sort of like A/B testing with these here on the court, trying to stop, I did notice that I was actually getting movement in my foot out here, like on a hard lateral stop. I'd noticed that there's a little bit of play, which didn't bother me that much playing in the game. But these shoes, they are locked down. And I think it has a lot to do with this sort of V shape here. There's an inner strap as well, which I can't really show you, but there's actually a strap on the inside. So I've got room for my foot here to spread out, but it's really locked down right out here on the ball. Now, I did get a tiny bit of a hot spot out in this area under my foot for the first couple sessions of playing hoops. I played maybe 3-hour sessions a couple times. I got a little hot spot here, but that has gone away. So the most recent sessions, I didn't notice that at all. So I think it was a little bit of a break-in, but you can see, I mean, this is meant to be supportive, so you're not going to get a lot of flex there, which I think for basketball, that's a good thing. And it locks down on the instep too, right? So the Prio, if you're curious, I think this is, if you want a more minimalistic shoe, this is going to be even more flexible than the basketball shoe. The Prio is kind of a fun one to try. You have to be careful if you haven't tried minimalist shoes that are so flexible and low to the ground. You want to phase them in and kind of like build up your strength. These are a pretty good entry because they're kind of a middle of the road between regular basketball shoes and minimalist shoes. For those of you who use the 360, let me grab that. In my opinion, the 360, even though some guys like to use them on the court, I personally do not. I feel like they have just too much play in here. The shoe is going to be really flexible. It's a fun shoe. I like wearing it around. It's good in the gym. But on the basketball court, there's too much play in here for me. it's hard to get locked down throughout the shoe, in my opinion. So I wanted to get back to the X1 since that's what this is about. I had actually printed a spec sheet because I wanted to hit some facts for you guys because there's a lot of questions. So just let me pull these out. So you want to know how much it weighs? Men's is about 11.2 ounces. Common is 12 to 15 ounces in other basketball shoes. There are some that are a little lighter than this, but this is definitely a light shoe. Then we want to talk stack height. I said 12.5 millimeters. 25 to 30 millimeters is about normal. So this is about half of your normal stack height. This is a 0 millimeter drop, heel to toe. Typical, it says, is 6 to 10 based on what I found. You got your wide toe box. A lot of you are going to like this because a narrow toe box, very uncomfortable, crowds the toes. This is going to give your foot some room. This is about a 2E in my opinion in like a normal wide shoe, just so you know. I normally wear a 2E in regular shoes, so this is about, I think it weighs in about there. So that's, in my opinion, a benefit. What about the cushioning? A lot of people want to know, when I land, am I going to hurt my feet? Am I going to get bruised? So far, I haven't had any issues landing in these. They have like a minimal thin foam. Like if you look here at this speckled foam, there's a little cushion in there, right? But it's not really built up. So let's see here. There's no thick foam midsole. There's no air or gel tech, right? So there's no air or gel units in the shoe. The sole is flexible, right? So that's pretty good flexibility there. Most normal shoes are not like that. This has the internal strap and the external V-brace. There's no rigid like heel counters inside of this shoe. There's no midfoot shank or outrigger sole. There's not really a high collar or straps for support. This does come in like a mid, but I feel like it's mostly an aesthetic or cosmetic thing. This is a low. It rides up right about at my ankle, just beneath it maybe. It could probably go maybe lower in the future. And another interesting thing about the Xero Shoes X1 is that they have an anatomical fit for ladies, not just the one guy's shoe that then everybody gets, right? So there's actually one that's meant for a women's foot. And so then what you get here is the barefoot grounded feel, whereas on a more typical one, you're gonna get like a cushioned ride, maybe some energy return. This is meant to strengthen the legs, to get us more grounded and flat. And over time, with some training, this should actually maybe help us be more versatile, get more longevity out of our game. So it's interesting. I'm getting older. I'm almost 44 here, and I've been using these to help me work on my game and my dunk. I'm trying to keep that going like I mentioned in the other video. So what's my opinion? I think this is a great shoe. It's hard to find anything to knock on it, really. I think it's like a near perfect entry for Xero shoes. My only concern maybe, let's take a look, is some wear. I don't know if you can show this, but I'm getting a little bit of wear on this laminate here, but nothing, nothing major. I don't know if someone landed on my foot or what, or if I dragged my toe. But like I said, I played in them a fair amount. If you look at the sole, it's dirty from this court, but so far it's holding up. Xero Shoes has good customer service. They have a 5,000 mile warranty on a lot of their running shoes. So overall, it's a great entry. I think this could change how a lot of basketball shoes are done moving forward. It'll be interesting to see where people go with this. And there's an NBA guy playing in these now for the Pistons. There's a WNBA lady using these. Lots of the NBA trainers are having players train in minimalist shoes on the side. So yeah, all that to say, I think the X1 is a great shoe for basketball. I encourage you to go try a pair on if you can, see what you think. I'm curious what other people think, but I think this is a good direction for having more variety and choice for basketball shoes versus having overbuilt options. So thanks for watching.